What's up, YouTube? Peace. This video is on how to multiply a decimal by a whole number. If this video helps you at all, please subscribe and like. I'll give you the steps and then we will go through some example problems. So step one would be to line up the factors vertically with the factor with the most digits on top. If both factors have the same amount of digits, then it doesn't matter which one goes on top. Step two would be to multiply the factors as if there are no decimals. So we just look at it like there are no decimals, just numbers, and then we multiply like we would normally multiply. Step three would be to count the decimal places in the factor that has the decimal. And then step four, once we have our product, the number of decimal places in the product is the same as the number of decimal places in the factor with the decimal. Let's take a look at this example, 32.5 times 3. Step one says line up the factors vertically with the factor with the most digits on top. And so we notice that 32.5 has 3 digits. That's 3, 2, and 0.5, 3 digits. 1, 2, 3. And our second factor is 3. Our whole number has 1 digit. All right. Step two, multiply the factors as if there is no decimals, just numbers. So if we got rid of the decimal, this would look like 325 times 3. Well, 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 5 is 15. So you put the 5 there and carry the 1. 3 times 2 is 6. Plus the 1 that we carried is 7. And then we have 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. All right. And so we would have a product then, if we looked at that as two whole numbers, of 975. Now for step 3, we're going to replace our original decimal in the first factor, and we're going to count the number of decimal places in that factor. And so starting at the end of the number, I'm just going to see how many places I need to move in order to have that decimal point there. And so 1. From the end of the number, I move 1 time, and that's 1 decimal place. Now, if I have 1 decimal place in my factor, step 4 says the number of decimal places in the product is the same as the number of decimal places in the factor with the decimal. And so if I have 1 decimal place in my factor with the decimal, that means that I'm going to have 1 decimal place in my product. So in order to place that decimal point, I need to start at the end of my number. All right. Start at the end of my number and move 1 time to the left. And so my decimal point would go right between the 7 and the 5, right there. And so my answer would be 97.5. Let's take a look at another example. This time we'll look at 2 factors that have 3 digits in each. So for step 1, it says line up the factors vertically. We did that with the factor with the most digits being on top. Notice here that my top factor has 3 digits, 371, and my second factor has also 3 digits, 5.26. That's 3 digits, 526. For step 2, I'm going to remove that decimal and multiply as if there are no decimals. So 6 times 1. 6 times 1 is 6. And then I have 6 times 7. 6 times 7 is 42. So I put the 2 here and carry the 4. Then I have 6 times 3, which is 18, plus 4, which is 22. And I'm going over to my next digit, which is 2. And so that means I need to put a 0 for a place value holder because that is in the tens place. And then I multiply 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. I carry the 1. And I have 2 times 3 plus 1, which is 7. And now I'm moving to 5. And so I need 2 zeros for place value holders because that is the hundreds place. And now I multiply 5 times 1, which is 5. 5 times 7, which is 35. And then I carry the 3. 5 times 3 plus 3. 5 times 3 is 15, plus another 3 is 18. Now I'm going to take these and add them up. And so 6 plus 0 is 6. 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 plus 4, that's 6, plus 5 is 11. I carry the 1. 2 plus 1 is 3, plus 7 is 10, plus another 5 is 15. Carry the 1. 1 plus 8 is 9. And then 1 plus nothing is 1. Now, that would be our product if we didn't have a factor with decimals. And so we're going to go ahead and replace our decimal where it goes in that second factor. Now we want to count the number of decimal places we have in that second factor, 5.26. And so we start at the end of the number here and we move 1, 2. That means we have 2 decimal places in that factor. So based on step 4, that means that our product needs to also have 2 decimal places in it. 2 decimal places in the product. So if I start at the end of that number, right behind this 6, and I move 1, 2, I should end up right here between that 1 and that 4. And so my decimal point would go right there between that 1 and that 4. All right. And that is how to multiply a decimal by a whole number. Now, if I wanted to do a quick check just to see if my answer or my product was in the right ballpark, I could round both factors. I could round 371 to 400, and I could round 5.26 to 5. And 5 times 400 would give me 2,000, which is close to the product that we get with the 1,951.46. Hope this helped. See you in the next video.